Welcome to the first episode of the April season for Emergency Stories. 5 episodes will be released through this month. If you would like to unlock them all and get special season skins, you can join a channel membership for 99 cents to get unlocked all episodes simultaneously and get special skins only for this season. James was heading home from work in his pickup truck early in the morning. He was after a 12-hour shift. He was working in a warehouse as a tollier. At the same time, Daniel, the manager of a 20-member team in a logistic company, was driving to work. He had a brand new Tesla Model 3. James went on the highway, driving in opposite lane from Daniel. Suddenly, James fell asleep. And went into the oncoming lane and crashed with Daniel head-on. Witnesses called the police and medical units. Sadly, both of the drivers died at the scene. Both received severe injuries. Road was closed for 4 hours before it got cleared. Alex was driving his Dodge Magnum in the Fairhaven city. He was running late for his first day of the job because he got busy with his newborn child in the morning. Alex was breaking all the traffic rules to get to his job on time, and he didn't want to come late on his first day. He was speeding, swerving through traffic, and running stop signs. Suddenly, one vehicle wanted to merge into another lane, while Alex was driving at a very high speed. Alex lost control, hit the vehicle, which then lost control and flew onto the oncoming lane, where it crashed head-on with an SUV. Alex kept driving, making it a hit-and-run accident. Surrounding drivers called medical units and police. But unfortunately, the driver of the white sedan didn't survive. Her name was Jenna, and she was driving to her mother who needed help as she was very old. Her mother prepared her favorite food, which she never got to eat. Alex was later found after a dash cam of one of the drivers showed Alex causing the accident. Hazuki Ren just purchased his brand new Bentley Bentayga 2020. He took it for a spin just to try out the vehicle, and he enjoyed it after working hard for the car. Hazuki was a software developer who was creating his apps for traders, healthy eating, and he made a few games, until he finally was able to get success and many people reached his apps, which made him a lot of money. At the same time, Kawasaki Hanoka was driving at a high speed in her convertible sports car. She suddenly lost control on a bumpy part of the road, which caused her to spin out and rear-end Hazuki's Bentley. As they came to a stop, one of the drivers wasn't paying attention and crashed into Kawasaki's car. Hazuki was very sad to the situation. His car was totaled. Kawasaki was transported to the hospital and she was released the next day. Her driver's license was suspended and she was fined $1,500. Henry was leaving the docks with a container that he got loaded on his trailer. Henry is 34 years old and he's a truck driver, working as a driver for 7 years. This was supposed to be a regular delivery of cargo, which unfortunately turned into a nightmare. Martin was driving home from work in his Kia Ceed. His wife was in the hospital with their child. As Martin's wife called him and told him their child passed away, he suddenly dropped his phone and all memories flashed in front of his eyes. But he didn't realize he is drifting into the oncoming lane with his car. Martin crashed head-on to Henry, who had no chance of stopping or avoiding hitting Martin. Unfortunately, the truck driver behind Martin hit him as well, which caused his car to get crushed. All medical and emergency units responded quickly, but there was no chance of saving Martin's life. Truck drivers had injuries that had to be treated at the hospital: fractured arm, heavy back pain, and dislocated knee, as well as some deep scratches from the particles. The news was delivered to his wife, which made her completely devastated. She had to visit psychiatrists for another 2 years to get out of the trauma she was experiencing after losing her son and husband. John Forrester was an American mobster. He was driving a 2020 Dodge Charger SRT with Stage 3 engine. He loved racing and fast cars. On the evening, he took a risky job, transporting a high-value goods across the city. However, police had him tracked for several months now and were collecting all evidence to get him arrested. While he was transporting goods, unmarked police cars were following him. When he stopped at one of the locations, they turned on the sirens and wanted to arrest him. However, he floored the gas pedal and started fleeing. And that's when a big police chase through the downtown started. John was reaching crazy high speed, around 100 miles per hour. But he made one risky move, which caused him to lose control, and he got T-boned by a semi-truck. Since he was driving at crazy high speed, the car got extremely crushed by a truck. John had no chance of surviving this accident. The truck driver was transported to a hospital before he started his 1-year-long therapy from the terrible nightmares from the accident. Mark was leaving his home in the morning. He was traveling to work. He had a job around 15 miles from home, and he was working as a pizza delivery driver. it was a pretty hot summer day and it was expected to be 100 degrees and more. The roads were pretty empty as it was a Friday, and Mark was excited about getting back home, going to the gym, and then playing some video games. He got stuck behind a slow truck, so he decided to overtake it. But he decided at the wrong time and started overtaking right on the curb. An oncoming semi-truck appeared right in front of Mark and they collided head-on. Unfortunately, Mark didn't survive the accident. The semi-truck driver was treated at the scene. Storm chasers Ryan and Jimmy were preparing for a big storm that was expected in the River State area, as dark clouds were above their heads and weather conditions were crazy for tornadoes. As they were driving through the River State countryside, they suddenly saw a funnel forming above their heads. They quickly pulled over and called to National Weather Tower so they could put on the sirens. The tornado touched down and immediately started causing damages, as some vehicles were right in the path of the tornado. Unfortunately, a tourist bus with 40 people got hit by a tornado too, and the bus rolled over. When the tornado finally vanished, emergency units came immediately to the area to help injured drivers and civilians. Luckily, nobody was killed in this weather event. 36 people were injured in the bus, but all were treated at the hospital and were released.
Wants to 1025.